everyone, and welcome to yet another enlightening episode of Wellness Talks with Nirva. Today, we are going to deep dive into the kind of gut type we have and how, with small, tiny dietary and lifestyle changes, we can actually resolve all our gut issues. My name is Natasha Singh, and I'm your host, and I'm really honored to have Dr. Shehnaz with us, who's not only a Nirva health consultant, but she's also a seasoned Smriti meditation expert. Thank you so much, Doctor, for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me here today, Natasha.
Great. I really can't even wait to deep dive into the topic. I've heard so much about that, how our gut is actually our second brain, which not only regulates our digestion, but so many more aspects than that, right? So I want to know something more on those lines, that how Ayurveda looks at that, or, if you can break it down, that how Ayurveda looks at different gut types, and also what does that mean for our food choices and our overall health?
Yeah. Well, when it comes to gut health, the type of the gut is what we need to understand first. In Ayurveda, our gut is intimately linked to our overall constitution, or we call it as Prakriti. Now, this Prakriti is determined by the three doshas, or bioenergies that we would say: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Now, each bioenergy has its distinct characteristics. Like if you have a Vata gut, you might be sensitive to cold food, or you might be prone to bloating and gas. So you might need like warming, grounding foods, which can reduce these bloating and gas accumulation. But when it comes to Pitta people, their gut is fiery. So people with Pitta gut might experience heartburn or that burning sensation, acidity, inflammation. So they would need cooling foods like cucumbers, melons. These are all their friends. And finally, when it comes to Kapha gut, it is very grounded and stable. But if it's too dominant, it can lead to sluggishness in digestion. So that would cause you indigestion. So people with Kapha gut, they can have a lot more lighter foods and spices so that, it can kickstart their metabolism and digestion. So these gut types might relate to how our gut microbiome is too. Now, gut microbiome means they are the collection of the microbes in our intestines which carry out certain functions. Microbes in the sense bacteria. So for someone with a Vata imbalance, they might have an overgrowth of certain bacteria that can, prone to cause bloating or gas. Now, isn't it fascinating like how ancient wisdom and modern science often converge on similar insights? But at the end of the day, the key is understanding and listening to our body's unique needs.
Wow, I'm absolutely mind blown with the way you explained it and how it has been there in our, like you said, Ayurveda, right? So, for all of you who are joining it and who are listening to it, if you are more interested in knowing about your gut health type, so don't forget to check out Nirva's Gut Health Assessment Test. The link is given in the description box below. So, answer the questions and get to know about your gut health profile even better. Now, back to you, Doctor. Whatever you explained, I have one more question related to it. Because now times have changed, and we don't eat what we used to. So, if you can also explain to us that how a contemporary diet has affected our gut health, and are there any specific food which are related to particular gut types that we should be more mindful about?
Great question. Like modern diets are laden with, processed ingredients, artificial sweeteners, and excess sugars. So they undoubtedly affect our gut health and the balance of these bioenergies. Now, Vata gut individuals, they should limit cold and dry foods like raw salads or carbonated beverages. Whereas Pitta gut individuals, they should watch their intake of spicy or heating foods or overly fried items, along with alcohol, caffeine, that kind of stimulators. Now, meanwhile, Kapha gut types, they might struggle with sugary or too much fatty or too much rich foods. And modern nutrition often aligns with this Ayurvedic advice. For example, like avoiding spicy foods for acid reflux. That is a common suggestion in both these rooms. Also avoiding sour fruits, the sour taste that can aggravate pitta, whose imbalance is responsible for this burning sensation or acidity. And this sour taste that aggravates pitta, and they tend to exacerbate these pitta's natural heat. But not just that, the Ayurveda also brings in the time of consumption, the food combinations, these all into account, which is unique, right?
Wow. So you have listed out different gut types, as what I've heard. But how does a layman, like how does an average person identify that if their gut is out of whack? Like, is there any hack for that to know about it?
Yeah, good one. Now, see, these signs can be both physical as well as emotional. Now, a Vata person, they might feel constipated or have gas, or they even experience anxiety when there is an imbalance. But whereas Pitta folks, they could deal with acid reflux, skin rashes, or even burst of anger. And for Kapha types, it's the sluggish digestion or the excess mucus or the feeling of, too much tiredness or lethargy. These all might pop up. That's how we understand.
Okay, so basically, understanding your body is the key, right? So, before we move forward to understanding that what are the most common gut health problems and what kind of food kind of hyper aggravates the entire situation, I would like to give a quick overview of Nirva health. So, if I may. At Nirva, we are dedicatedly working to making you feel beautiful and amazing from inside and out. And at Nirva, we are a bunch of certified Ayurveda professionals, yoga professionals, and you can say the most amazing and caring coaches that you'd ever meet. We are here to take care of your chronic health conditions and give you such curated, personalized programs that help you get better at it. So, if you are struggling with the symptoms of menopause, or maybe if you feel that your gut is not right, or maybe if you feel that your joints are giving you a pain, then don't worry, we have got your back. Here at Nirva, this is what we do to curate these personalized programs according to your specific conditions based on the philosophies of yoga and Ayurveda. And did I mention about a wonderful community? There are so many people from the UK and the US, just like you, who have started on this holistic wellness journey and who are, in fact, getting better not only with their chronic health conditions, but also just making life more wholesome, holistic, and getting better at it. And the cherry on the top, I have to talk about it, is our Nirva retreats. I mean, imagine a serene, detoxing getaway where you can get these Ayurvedic therapies with personalized yoga sessions that can recharge each and every cell of your body, and that too in Kerala, God's own country. Right. So if you're struggling with any of your chronic health conditions and if you want to get better at it, please feel free to connect with us. We are here to take care of that. And now back to my question, doctor, that tell us more about the common gut health problems and how knowing our gut type and food can also help us out.
Of course. A gut type, as determined by Ayurveda, it can provide some insight into the digestive disorders we might be more predisposed to. Like in the Vata types, they are susceptible to disorders like irritable bowel syndrome or gastritis and flatulence, as I said, the wind. Now, when it comes to Pitta individuals, they have a higher tendency to have the conditions such as inflammatory bowel disease. So there is more inflammation. And then like GERD-like diseases, gastroesophageal reflux disease and ulcers. So there is like more of, acidity, burning sensation, ulcers, all this happen in Pitta type of individual. Whereas when it comes to Kapha types, they are more prone to conditions like constipation or weight gain. So when your digestion is not proper, it can cause weight gain. So these people are more prone to get that type of weight gain. And in some cases, there are conditions like gastroparesis. So while these are like general, tendencies, now it's essential to understand that anyone can develop any of these conditions. But however, knowing our gut type, that can give us a strategic advantage in prevention, management, all of these, right? By tailoring our lifestyle as well as diet.
Genuinely eye opening. In fact, I have also heard about that there is a difference between men and women gut, right? If you can shed some more light on that.
Yes, the difference between male and female gut, it can be like subtle as well as significant. The women's and men's gut microbiomes, they can differ due to hormonal variations. Now, for instance, estrogen, it can influence the gut permeability as well as the composition of gut bacteria, that is the gut microbiome. Now, this is why conditions like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, they are more prevalent in women than in men. Because of the pregnancy, menopause, and even the menstrual cycle, these all can lead to noticeable changes in a woman's gut function. Right? During the periods, some of the women may experience bloating, those kind of gut health issues. On the other hand, men might not experience these cyclical changes like women, but they also have like hormones like testosterone, which can still play a part in how their gut functions. So our body, especially women's, it goes through phases and our gut reacts to that. So it's all about understanding and adjusting accordingly.
Right. I mean, that makes so much of sense now when you said that, because why certain foods actually don't sit very well during certain times or certain periods, right? And that brings me to my another question, that we have also heard a lot of people complaining about their gut imbalances while they are traveling, like, digestion problems while they're traveling. So if you can tell us more about that, can something be done about it, like, or is there anything that we can do to control these travel-related gut imbalances?
Yes, Ayurveda believes like these each gut type, this might react differently to the changes that come with travel. Now, Vata types, they might experience more dryness and they can get constipated when traveling. So it's essential for them to stay hydrated because they can get more dryness. And they can also consider carrying some herbal teas, which can actually soothe their system. Now, when it comes to Pitta type, they could experience, as I told, like acid reflux, heartburn, especially if they try out like spicy or any unfamiliar food during their travel. So for that, cooling beverages or avoiding too much spicy food, these all can help them. Now coming to Kapha types, sitting for long hours on a flight, only this could lead to sluggishness in their digestion. So what they should do, they can benefit from walking or light stretching during the travel. And they can also opt for lighter meals because they would be having more of indigestion. So the change in the time zones, irregular eating, and the stress of travel, all this can disrupt our gut rhythm. So more or less, regardless of your gut type, drinking plenty of water, eating fiber-rich foods, and maintaining some routine according to your body type, this can go a long way in ensuring a happy gut while traveling.
Myself, I'm actually noting down all of these pointers. So thank you so much for that. And we understand that gut influences more than our digestion. So are there any other signs as well that might point out towards imbalances in our gut? Are there any other
Definitely.
factors, signs?
Yes. Yes. Ayurveda has always believed in the interconnectedness of all the systems that are there inside our body. So an imbalanced gut, it can manifest actually in various ways. For example, like skin manifestation. So skin eruptions like acne, eczema, these all can be the signs of Pitta or Kapha imbalance, which is rooted in the gut. So it's like our body's way of signaling that something's off internally, right? And when it comes to gut-brain axis, so there is a strong connection between our gut and the brain. So imbalances in the gut, it can lead to mood swings, anxiety, or even depression. So in Ayurveda, an imbalanced Vata bioenergy can lead to these feelings of unease and anxiety. Now, when it comes to menopause or hormonal changes, women undergoing menopause, they might experience these gut disturbances due to the hormonal shift. So a healthy gut can also help ease some of these transitions. And finally, like hair fall. Surprisingly, like our hair health can be a reflection of our gut health. A vata imbalance, for example, like might lead to dry, brittle hair and increased hair fall. Now, the fascinating thing is modern science is increasingly supporting these ancient insights. Recent research on the gut-brain axis, for instance, it highlights how our gut health can influence our mood and mental well-being.
So basically, it's not just about that bloated feeling right after having a meal. I mean, there can be, our gut can actually point out to so many other signals that we actually need to understand. It's more about talking to your own body, right? So, if anyone is experiencing these signs, I think what I have understood is that gut health is the first place that you start with, right? And there are foods
Exactly.
or foods also. I what I have come to understood is that food plays an integral role in this entire cycle. So, food can also aggravate those symptoms. So, if we can actually discuss it further and break it down further, that what are the certain foods that can trigger these symptoms and what can be done to reduce them?
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's break it down symptom by symptom. So first, if you take hot flashes during menopause. So if you have like more of alcohol, caffeine intake or spicy food, these can all intensify your hot flashes during your menopausal period. And in order to combat this, you need to incorporate cooling foods and also foods that contain phytoestrogens because there is estrogen deficiency. So foods like apples, bananas, soy, and berries, all these can be beneficial for this condition. Now, when it comes to a common condition like constipation, so alcohol is still a trigger for a constipation. And then red meat, gluten, dairy products, these all might slow down the gut and could lead to constipation. So here we need to add like fiber rich foods and like, cooked vegetables, fruits, and more of prunes. So these all will get the things moving. And when it comes to another common symptom of gut health, like bloating. So triggers would be like, beans, like especially the red and black beans. This can definitely directly cause gas. Lentils can also, cause this type of gas. But definitely like soaking and sprouting these lentils and beans, all this help to reduce the gas accumulation. Now, other culprits include like carbonated drinks, wheat, gluten, broccoli, and other cruciferous vegetables like cabbage, cauliflower, all these things. And dairy products can also be a big offender. Now, if we include food particles like avocados, this can actually prevent the fluid retention. And like cucumbers, these can actually prevent the dehydration. And food items like yogurt, it has probiotics, which can help balance the gut bacteria, whereas berries can soften the soup. So celery is another good choice as it increases urine production and it also will help to relieve the bloated feeling. And when it comes to the gut brain axis, like the mood swings that we were discussing about. So usually like most common foods that cause mood swings comes like, unhealthy processed carbohydrates like white bread, pastries, all these things. This can cause low energy as well as irritability. Now also constantly like reheating the leftovers. That can actually diminish the nutritional value and it can also lead to mood imbalances. So studies show that it can cause depression. So for that, in order to relieve them, you need to have more energy-rich foods, like protein-rich foods, nuts, chicken, and fish. All these can boost your energy levels. And also like antioxidant-rich foods, like berries, nuts, seeds. These are all like fantastic mood stabilizers. And finally, coming to hair fall. Now, hair fall can be a culprit if we take, sugar, refined carbs, alcohol, and high glycemic foods like bread, cakes, pasta, pizza, all these things. These can all weaken our hair health. So for this also, you need to have specific food particles which include protein and biotin. So for that, you can incorporate like eggs. And like vitamins are very necessary for your hair health. So carrots is a good option because it contains vitamin A, which is essential for hair. And oats, these kind of particles like, they offer nutrients like iron and polyunsaturated fatty acids. And also like spinach. It can bring you vitamin A and vitamin C. Now, low-fat dairy products, it needs, supplies the needed calcium. And avocados, these are a fantastic source of vitamin E, which promotes hair growth. So these are, some of the examples, in which symptoms we can have, these kind of food particles.
Direct impact not only on our gut, but I'm sure that more aspects of it, right? Uh, Thank you so much for that entire exhaustive list. I'm sure that the audience is going to find it super insightful and super helpful. So thank you so much, Doctor, for that. For someone who's new to this entire concept, if I may ask you that, what should be that one dietary change that you would recommend that can help them to achieve better health? What would be that?
Yeah, when it comes to a quick suggestion, I would give you a little bit of a small guide to get you on the right track. The first one would be rest and repair diet. For example, like by minimizing your intake of wheat, sugar, dairy for at least a week or two. It's incredible what a break from these can you do for your digestion. Now, if you find your sugar cravings hard to resist, you can, suck on a cardamom pod. It will trick your brain's reward system and will satisfy that sweet urge. And you can also eat according to your body type. Now, once you have detoxed a bit, start aligning your diet with your Ayurvedic body type. If you're not sure about your body type is, which type of body type you have or which type of gut type you have, you can use the Nirva gut assessment test and the link will be shared. And then the next one is to fire up your digestion. So you have detoxed. Now you need to fire up the digestion. So, before your meals, you can eat a slice of ginger with lemon juice or a pinch of salt. This helps to rekindle your digestive fire. And then you can have drinking by, detoxifying spice tea, including probiotics and prebiotics, like for example, like apples and asparagus. These are all great choices. And try to limit or eliminate foods that are frozen, canned, heavily processed or ice cold. These all same, goes for like refined sugars, non-organic foods, and some cheeses. These all can clog up your system. And just a little bit of, shaking up your lifestyle, like the fresh air. It does wonders. Spend some time outdoors. Maybe take morning walks. And they are rejuvenating and boost your metabolism and even help you sleep better. And lastly, don't underestimate the power of yoga, certain poses, especially like, spinal twist. These can give your digestion the kickstart it needs.
Absolutely, Doctor. It has been a super insightful conversation with you. So thank you so much. And I'm sure this entire dialogue has proven that with right changes in your diet, in your lifestyle, and with those right home remedies, you can actually fix all your gut troubles and in fact transform it. So thank you so much, Doctor. And to all of you who are listening to it, who have joined and hanged around with us for all this entire conversation. Thank you so much. And if it resonated with you, or if you have any doubt, any query, please feel free to drop a comment below. And if you think that this is something that can benefit out someone that you know, or you think this can help out someone, please feel free to share the link of this conversation with them. And don't forget that we are doing this here every week. So come back next week again with such amazing, another enlightening conversation. Until then, take great care of yourselves. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.